What's good? What's good, y'all? Tap in, tap in. Welcome to Beast Talk. Welcome to Beast Talk. We break down real topics in real time. Again, if you come into the room, if you got something to say, put it in the comment section. We're going to read comments, we're going to post them, and we're going to speak on them. If you want to join the panel, let me know. Drop it in the chat. I will post the link, and you will be able to come in and speak your piece. Another thing, this is not an echo chamber. You do not have to agree with us. We're not going to agree with each other, right? We're all individuals coming together, trying to come up with solutions for many of the issues that's going on out here in the dating world, the relationship world, and the marriage world. Feel free to tap in at any moment. Again, we're going to post your comments on the screen, and we're going to get into it. My name is Maurice Speece, a.k.a. Speece the Beast. Today I got Jay Ice with us. We got Big Hurt. We got Dave. Hey, we're gonna get it cracking. What's going on, fellas?
How's it going?
What's good? What's good? What's
Sure.
good?
Yo.
Word. Without further ado, we're gonna jump into these topics, right? Again, if you're watching out there, hey, if you got a question, post it. If you got a comment, post it. All right, fellas, let's take a crack at this first one. I've seen it said that men are not properly loved until they start making money. I'm going to say it again. They say that men are not properly loved until they start making money. What are your thoughts on that? I'll let you go first, Jay.
My thought is not in all cases. There are some cases where that's true, but honestly, if that's the case, then you might want to look in the mirror and or look at that person you stand next to, because it might not be real. But I do know people that don't have money and they got a awesome wife or a great marriage. It just depends on the situation, really.
How many people, like, of the men you know, how many men are in that situation? If you could just, a percentage of people you know in your life. I mean, I know percentages are hard, but is it half, most?
Well, I don't have a lot of people in my life. I just focus on my kids and work. But throughout my life, I've met people. I mean, I would say more so nowadays it's like 60-40.
So
60%. 60% being that the woman is just only treating a man right if he got money.
Okay.
Like it's unfortunate. It should be the other way around. But today it seems like most women are just materialistic and just focused on items instead of focusing on what's important.
I'm glad you were honest. A lot of people, like, because you like had a positive answer, but like when I asked, you have those tags. That's awesome. But yeah, yeah, I thought you were gonna sugarcoat it, but you kept it real. So mad respect on that one, bro.
Nah, yeah, you can't sugarcoat it nowadays. It's too out there.
So you said it was 60-40, 60 being the side of the men who do need money. Or don't.
Yeah,
Or don't. Yeah,
or
okay.
yeah, and it
60%.
might even be higher, honestly.
Okay.
I mean, I kind of asked people, like, when I showed you the other topic, the percentage I gave you, that's kind of something you got to go by your life, right? That's why when they say, oh, percentage are made up, it's like, okay, think about your life. How many people have you met? That's what I try to explain. So,
right.
Yeah.
What you got on that, Big Hurt? They say men don't get truly loved until they get that money. What you think about that?
First of all, full disclosure, I just wanted to say that that's really a case by case scenario.
Okay.
It's not really like he said. There's some men without money that get love. There's some men with plenty of money and they don't get no love. It varies. I really think that question is more of a question of how was that woman raised?
Okay.
Was she taught what a man wants out of love? Was she taught to do for a man? Is she willing to listen? Is she willing to be corrected?
Okay.
Is she willing to submit to the man that she's willing to allow to protect her? and provide for her.
Right.
If she's willing to do those things and she knows what a man desires out of love, then I don't think the money really matters. But people falling in love with the money, that's to me, that's not love. That's more superficial.
Okay, there you go.
She don't love you. She love what you can do for her.
That's what you can do for her. Okay, that's legit. What you got on today?
Yeah, I'm glad you actually picked me last because you already knew I had a perspective on this, of course. So getting their opinions on this was very helpful. They added a lot to what I see. But so my original point would be that I am totally cool with it, in terms of that being the philosophy. If we're talking, like, I know I'll talk about what I see in a second, but the point itself, yeah, I'm fine with it as long as if we're gonna have that mindset, then it needs to be both ways. Meaning, when guys are like, hey, you're not exactly, in the shape I want, you're not exactly got the hairstyle I want. If guys are gonna, do that, I'm not saying every guy does or should do that. I'm just saying if that happens, we can't be too mad about it when you'll be like, oh, you don't make the money I make, get out of my face. When you get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I just think it's cool. At the end of the day, we're adults. We have to accept the world we live in, but let's be fair. We can't have people crying on Twitter when a guy says, so-and-so woman isn't attractive enough for him. But then when a woman says he don't make enough, we're totally cool with that. I just, let's be fair.
Yeah.
Now,
That's
I
crazy.
do want to mention Big Herc kind of added to my perspective about it being a case-by-case basis, or I think a lot of it is what type of guy you are. And I mean that to be, do you naturally command respect in terms of, are you a respectable person? On the other hand, do you just allow people to be in your life without, loving you back? Because if you do that, you're going to have a lot of those people. So it's all about case by case, in my opinion, like what type of man you are, how much respect you have for yourself, So that's I think that's a big part of it. I think a lot of guys, like you mentioned, guys with money, which is not talked about a lot. There are guys with money that are disrespected, and I think that's because they're those people that will allow people to stay in their lives that aren't doing nothing for them, aren't caring about them. If you allow that, you're going to have a lot of those people around. I was one of those guys, so yeah, I've seen it.
Right. I got you. Hey, that sounds good. So boom, let me jump in there. I got one right here. Let me add to the stage. What's going on? Wake, what's good with you?
Okay, cool.
You there? Can you hear?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let me jump in there. We were saying, do men need money to properly get love? Right? They need that money. What I got on it is, I don't think so. I don't think men need money to get properly loved. Think about the society we live in. We got all these baby mamas, right? We got all these quote unquote pookies and ray rays, right? A lot of them boys ain't got money. But guess what? They might have swag, they might have a talk game, they might have physique, they might can dress, different little things about them. But guess what? They knocking down a lot of the chicks. Think about all these women having kids by the same men. So again, think about all these women having kids by the same men. A lot of these men could be looked at as bums, right? People, how you have a baby by him? This dude might have 10 baby mamas. So again, and these women are crazy about him. These are men that these women are crazy about. And people are like, well, dang, how he get her? Well, it's some things about him. Maybe it's his sense of masculinity. A lot of those guys, those tough guys, those guys in the streets, they ain't got a whole lot of money.
I
You
do.
see what I'm saying?
Can I add something on this though?
Sure.
Well, I've actually looked into this, and a big part of why a guy might amass that number of baby mamas is often because they could shoot, pretty low in terms of caliber of woman. A lot of times, I've seen that
You might
happen.
have to mute up. Wait. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. So I've seen it where you have guys, they have those baby mamas because they're kind of, going for low caliber women, basically. And, they'll get a bunch of those low caliber women. And as a result, be looking like a baller if you don't look into it. Like if you don't know him, he'll tell you, I got 10 baby mamas, I get all the hoes. But if you don't know him, it's like, yeah, but he went for all the women that you might not even want. So there's cases where that can happen.
But he's also showing low caliber masculinity as well.
Not being able to control himself. That is very correct.
Oh, about what having those kids and stuff like that?
I mean, you can have 10 kids responsibly. Elon Musk did it, but is it hard? Of course, as long as you do it responsibly, but doing it irresponsibly, yeah, that of course shows lack of self-control.
I just, if raising one child takes a village, then one man cannot raise 10 children effectively. I think being a good father really is described by what type of children you're putting into society.
Yes.
If you can raise 10 children to be respectable, you can raise 10 children to honor their mother, their father, their wife, their husband, to be a productive part of society, to stay outside the law, to believe in the things that you believe in. If you can raise 10 children to do that, money or not, have as many kids as you want. But if you can't do that, then limit your limit your reproduction. limit having them babies. You know what I'm saying? And most men understand this from a financial status that I can't take care of no 10 kids. So you would be more responsible in what you're doing. And not to mention sleeping with all those women unprotected. That's not safe for your own health. That's not safe for their health. You're taking high risk doing all of that. So to me, he's low hanging fruit as well. No disrespect to anybody that has that many kids, but
Right.
I think that they would all admit that they made some bad decisions in the past.
Right.
That's Russian roulette.
Apparently, Houston has a STD, or I guess they call them STIs now, but they have like a lot of people there have it, like most people. I don't know if it's one or all of them, but I don't know.
Wow.
Also, too, a lot of those men that got 10 different kids by 10 different baby mamas, they might have been trapped. Like they meant, like you said, they might not be controlling themselves, and they falling victim to a bunch of women that just are just trying to get babies. You know what I'm saying?
How does a man allow himself to be a victim?
What's
Yeah,
that?
answer that.
How does a man allow himself to be a victim to a woman in the bedroom?
Well, no, I'm saying he don't view himself as a victim. But if you a guy going around knocking up 10 different women, getting them pregnant, at some point you gotta think like, why? Why is that happening? Why does it keep happening?
I mean, so I think what he's talking about, like, I think he made a separate point, but didn't actually make a point that like backed it up, which is that there are a lot of guys that get trapped. That does happen, whether that's paternity fraud or I've heard of situations where the woman will straight squeeze you, or the different crazy cases, and not say movies, but there are things that can happen. But that happens. But obviously, if it happens 10 times, I would not call you a victim. I'd call you an idiot.
And to be honest,
I get what you're saying.
I'm 49 years old. I've been with more than my share of women, and I have 0 kids.
There you go.
Because I was responsible from day one. No abortions, mind you.
Right.
But I've been responsible from the beginning of my sexual career until this day. Call it luck, call it the will of the Lord, of the gods. But I don't believe in victimhood for a man. From what I know, it happens.
Right.
But was that man taking accountability? Was he responsible? Did he throw his used trash away? Did he, you know what I'm talking about?
Right.
But did he discard the stuff properly? Did he wear protection? Did he follow his lines? Women have a lot of ways to keep themselves safe, from conception on to birth. From condoms to birth control to it's a whole list of things. We got one, and if we use it effectively, it's okay. You know, you can get through life without having any
So
kids.
so legally paternity fraud is an actual crime. So I think if you have been an actual victim of paternity fraud, then you can actually go to the court with that, and that can be an actual legal proceeding. And in that case, you're an actual victim as processed by the court. But beyond that, I totally agree with you.
Yeah. And there's also malfunctions. So
Okay.
I'm not saying that's not possible. I'm just saying I haven't experienced it, and I credit that to being extra safe throughout my life. And I don't think that a lot of men are really extra as safe as they could be being that sexually promiscuous.
No,
You
And I
said
think that fault lies on the man.
you said the malfunctions.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, not being able to. Oh, it pops. Oh, okay, yeah.
Now,
Yeah, that's
actually,
true.
you brought up something. I know you probably have another topic, but just real quick, I want to hit on
No, we're
something you
good. Yeah,
said.
we're good. Rock
Well,
it out.
you mentioned about playing it safe your whole life, and this is something I have done so far, and some I think you might be able to speak on. In your personal opinion, I think, of course, every guy has to decide this. Does it, like, if you're someone who has turned down, let's say, women that may have not been a good idea to get with, how much regret have you felt from that? In terms of the numbers lost. Now, me being a guy who grew up in an era where numbers mattered, as I was younger, I've cared. As I grew older and found out about the STI scare and STD stuff, I'm like, 50-50. I mean, maybe it worked out, that's just my opinion. But when I was younger, it definitely bothered me.
Oh, the number, the SCI numbers.
Well, no, what I'm talking about is turning down women who, and I'm not saying they had STDs 100%, but turning down women that I thought maybe this isn't a good idea. As a result, having a lower body count, whereas other guys, they have a higher body count because they were just not being safe. Is that something that you have either dealt with, and if so, do you have any regrets on that? And I'm speaking to Big Herc, by the way.
So as a young man, I didn't turn down a whole lot of anything. I'm just be honest. Being, when I was young, it was all about numbers. As I built myself up and became more mature, it became more about quality. So as a young man, I was worried about numbers, and I did okay. But I was always safe. I always knew that I didn't want anything with those women. I always knew that I didn't want a child. I always stayed protected. Um, and I took care of that. Even, I wasn't one to leave them at the house. I was one to bring them with me. You know what I mean?
So you were
I'm not
safe
sure
in a
what I can
different
say on
way.
this platform, so I'm trying to ad lib, so bear with me.
Do you think?
But, I was Drake,
Yeah. Yeah.
put something in there if I'm leaving it,
Okay.
or I'm taking it with me. And I've been that way since a teenager.
Now,
So,
wow.
so you were safe in a different way. I was safe by just turning them down altogether because I didn't like using condoms. So I would just women. So look, women. Look. Women actually wanted to get with. I would just the goal would be to stay with them. So I would not use a condom with the plan to stay with them. And it obviously, it didn't work out because I'm single now. But other women, I had a lot of mostly bigger women, and I'm just not with it. So I had to turn down a lot of bigger women, which kept my numbers lower. Versus when I finally had talks about this, with my friends and shit, they're like, "Oh, we just said yes, so we had the same, body count as other guys around us." And I'm like, "But you were basically getting with the same chicks in a lot of cases, pretty much, yeah." And I'm like, "Well, see, I just said no to that."
I commend you for saying no.
Another one.
I wasn't big on no.
But it hurt me for a little bit. For when I was 21, 22, I look back like, man, I could have so much more fun. Now that I'm 30, I'm like, now that there's some STDs out, I'm probably good. I made the right decision. Maybe.
Right.
Do you regret it?
Not now, no. Not at 30. At 25, 100% would have been like, I definitely made bad decisions, should have had more fun. At 30, I'm I'm good. I'll be honest, it definitely is an age thing.
Well,
Yeah.
coming from a guy that went the other route, I have regrets too. So I regret that I was so safe and I don't have any kids at 49.
Well, it's health issues, man.
Okay.
I'm starting to get pain in my back, you know, I'm saying different aches, and I'm like, yeah, I definitely would not want to add an STD problem to that. So
Oh yeah. That'd be crazy, man.
that's what I got for my 30th birthday was pain.
That's crazy. I hate to hear that. But yeah, I mean, back to the question though, guys. I mean, I know we went on that tangent. That's cool, but I still say that, you know, for that reason, even though a lot of those guys are what we would call irresponsible and terrible decision makers in regards to having all those mates and having kids. Again, those guys, they still didn't need money for love. I mean, these women are letting them come in and knock it down. You know what I'm saying? And
I was broke as could be when I was young.
and had all the girls, right?
I've been homeless and did all of that.
Yeah.
And I've never had an issue of not having women in my vicinity willing to do what I wanted them to do.
That's
so
how I had
the money, and it was love.
Yeah.
There was love there, you know, in a lot of cases.
To be fair, though, I have talked to my mom about this. Women were definitely different in the past.
I ain't that old.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
you're the same age as my mom. So,
what's her name?
No.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've even experienced though. I've experienced that. I mean, I know guys in the hood, no problem. JC, you remember, man, we need much. I mean, don't get me wrong, some do, but we ain't always have a lot of money. If you got that swagger, man, you know, say if you're an athlete or something like that, a lot of them cats, they getting them women, man. They don't have a lot of money.
It's not if money entices your woman, you're dealing with a prostitute. Period. There's a fine. I mean, granted, she wants to be provided for. She wants to be comfortable, but if that is why she's there, you got to call a spade, bro. If I'm calling you my woman, and I lose my job, I lose my income, I lose my health, I lose my status, she's still my woman.
Right.
Yeah.
Up, down, down, up.
Yeah.
You riding with me. You wouldn't have made it to that status if you didn't already prove that to me. So if any man is out here with a woman and you're worried like, oh man, if I lose my job, I know she's going to leave me. You should reevaluate your decision making, and you might want to move in a different direction.
Yeah, there's definitely an issue with young guys knowing how to pick the right women. Like I've had to learn over time, and a lot of guys don't know when they're young. So that needs to be worked on, of course.
Yeah.
Right. Sounds good. Well, guys, go ahead and segue to the next topic. The next topic is women want the kids, but not the man. You guys ever experienced that? Women want the kids, they want the baby, but they don't really want the man. They don't want the husband. They don't want to live that married life. They just want the kid. What y'all got on that? What you got on that, Jay? We'll start with you.
Well, before y'all started, I'm sorry. Yeah. I have nothing to add to this. Like I said, I don't have any kids. I've never been in any of those situations, so I really can't speak. And I'm trying to book a flight right now, so I'm going to bid farewell to y'all. It was wonderful meeting you, brothers, man. Stay up, stay positive, stay blessed. I love the conversation, and I'll be back for the next one, hopefully.
All right, big dog.
I got to fall out. Y'all stay safe.
All right, be easy now.
All right. You too.
What you got on that, Jay?
There's definitely a lot of that going on. I think most women are not that way, but I've definitely ran across some women in the past that are that way for sure.
Okay.
You just got to know who you're dealing with, honestly. But it's definitely a thing, though. It's out there, so you got to be careful.
Yeah. Mostly I've seen it on the internet, but there was one excuse me. There was one situation where I had a cousin. I didn't mean to say that, but basically there was a person saying that she essentially wanted her baby daddy to be like a deadbeat so she could have more control over her son's life.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because he's actually a good dude. Like I met the guy, he's cool, like take care of the kid. Kids having a good life, you know. And she posted that, and I had to like call her, like, okay, look, I can understand you feeling like you're not spending enough time with your son. That's something you need to either talk to him about or go to the courts about and get an actual court order. But
Yeah.
for you to wish that your kid had a worse life, like that's not responsible. Like maybe, you know, I had to like check her a little bit. Like, come on now, like this is my nephew. You know, he needs to have a good life. I met the dude. He's cool. The kid is he's fine. He's healthy. You gonna make him grow up like us? And she was just like, she understood after that. But honestly, don't think I haven't even talked to her since then because that just made me so disappointed.
Yeah, that was insane right there, you know.
But that's the only case I've seen in my life, like personally. But beyond that, it's just the internet, mostly celebrities that are like 60. And they're like, yeah, they're like, well, since I can't get married now, I won't. This gonna. And I'm like, I mean, you're 60, like or 50. That's gonna be really hard to raise a kid at that age. But they got the money.
So that's more of a celebrity thing. Go ahead, Jay.
I've ran across that a lot. Believe it or not. I mean, if you only ran in that one time in life, you're lucky. Like, I think there's a lot of women out there that have 10 kids, just for that reason. And they have them by men that they know are not really good men and aren't going to fight to be in their kids' lives at the end of the day. Like,
well, 10, I mean, I would say there's probably not a lot of those women doing that, but specifically like having kids and finding guys that are shitty, like, come on, bro. There's probably some, but I mean, well, I would ask, where are you from that you've seen a lot of it? That's what I want to ask.
Well,
that's not happening everywhere. Not that much.
And by the way, Jason, he's from Indiana.
Yeah. Oh, he's from Indiana. Okay. I'm from Winston-Salem. I live in Columbus, Georgia right now. But yeah, man, I just gotta disagree with that. I see that a lot. I've seen it a lot.
Let me know what time of your life, because I know you said you're from, so that's why I was this where specifically. I just want to where's more at least, you know.
Well, I mean, I've seen it in Winston-Salem. I've seen it in Columbus, Georgia. Atlanta. I think it's a thing. Here's the thing. The women aren't going to tell you that's what the deal is. No woman's ever going to admit that to you.
Right.
But that's their mindset, though. Whether it's the way they were raised, maybe they were raised without a father in some cases, but that's their mindset. Like they see no value in a man or a father. So, but they want kids. That's the thing. They see no value in a man or a father, but they want kids. So they target, maybe target's the wrong word, but they sleep and get pregnant by men that they know ultimately are not going to be there because they're not good men. So no woman's ever going to tell you that, but that's what happens.
Okay, so you said you've seen this in Atlanta, or not Georgia, and different places. I mean, there's definitely. I mean, I guess I would ask: is it more like a poverty-stricken community sort of trait, or is it not necessarily connected to that? Or,
I mean, in a lot of cases, but that's not necessarily always the case. You know, in a lot of cases, that's the case, but not always. I'm never like. There's always exceptions. You never want to say, yeah, this is always what happens. You know, but
yeah, I mean,
yeah. I mean, I think mostly you do see it with the celebrities and the athletes and stuff like that because you know there's a monetary gain. You know, they want child support. They want to be taken care of for at least the next 18 years. You know, if not the rest of their life. So you mostly see it in those cases. But even in regular situations, now are women admitting this? No. You know, they're not admitting it, but there are a lot of women out there who was like, hey, I just want to have your baby, and true story. I tell this story. I mean, I'm gonna keep it raw on this platform. Um, Years ago, I had a woman reach out to me on Instagram, and she was in let's just say she was down in Georgia, and very attractive young woman. And she reached out to me and said, "Hey, I've been watching you. I like everything about you. Look great. Genetically, you look great. What do you think about me, having this baby?" And she said, "You won't no strings attached. Like you won't have to pay no child support, nothing like that." She was like, "I just love children. I've already got a few." She said, "I'm taken care of financially. I have finance." She was attractive, and she was saying, "What do you think about this?" She seemed like a very nice guy. So that's all she wanted. You know what I'm saying? And I was like,
Right.
wow. I mean, think that's gonna blow your mind already. As a guy, you already,
Bro,
especially a single man,
what
you're still
the?
attractive. Yeah, you see that, you're gonna be like, hold on, I get in a relationship with you. You talking about just gonna let me come through? You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
So yeah, man. So I seen that real life. You know,
Yeah, and psychologically, I don't even know that they realize they doing that in a lot of cases.
right?
Like it's
Hmm.
like a mental condition. They don't even realize that's what they doing. But at the end of the day, that's what it is, though.
Well,
Really.
I'd say that's what you said right there. Like people thinking that or women thinking that way and doing that, they were dealing with, people with some type of mental condition, That's, to answer to the topic, women that want kids but not a man have a mental condition.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just think it really comes down to they don't see no value in a man.
Right.
Period.
That's what I was gonna say.
That's what
That's
it
right.
really comes
They
down to.
devalue the man. Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
it
they
really
don't see no
is.
value.
Unless they got to call the fire department, police department, or,
Yeah.
apply for a
Yeah.
job or,
Need a
Right.
house built, something like that, you
Yeah.
know. But yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, guys. We can go ahead and segue. I think we all agree on that one. This next topic. All right. Should men and women who are married and or in a serious relationship stay together for the kids? Right? Should they stay together for the kids if they're having, listen, we're talking about they having big problems, they bumping heads, they're on the verge of a divorce. Should they stay together for the children? Should they stay together for the children?
You want me to go first or it don't
Yeah,
matter?
go ahead, take a crack at it.
Um, no,
Uh,
period. Um, you do not want to put your kids in a situation where they think it is okay to live in an environment or grow up in an environment in that type of environment. Like you don't want to teach your kids the wrong lessons. Like especially if you're in an abusive relationship or something like that. If you stay, you're teaching your son or your daughter that behavior is okay. Now, I understand that it's a tough situation and there's a lot of emotions and feelings involved and you don't want to hurt your children's
right,
feelings at the end of the day. But
right.
I experienced that myself with my mom and dad getting a divorce once I was
Hmm.
grown.
Okay.
And they stayed together for years for me and my brothers, just to protect
Oh,
us
okay.
emotionally so we wouldn't have our feelings hurt in the process. But honestly, it bothered me more as an adult looking back, realizing that part of my childhood was fake.
Oh,
Like
okay. I
that
got you.
that bothered me more than anything. Just looking back and realizing that part of my childhood wasn't real. Like when my mom and dad was hugging and kissing, it was fake. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
So
man.
so like, okay, so hold on. So that means, so do you know, and now you don't need to tell me the whole story, but like which one would have left? Do you know?
Um, their divorce and breakup was so crazy. I honestly don't know. Probably would have been my dad. Probably would have been my
Okay.
dad.
So like I'm asking, did it bother you that like he was unhappy like for that portion of your life, or like what part of it? Like, and if you don't have an answer, of course, you might not also.
It wasn't even none of that. It just bothered me that they were pretending to be together and to be married and be a couple when they wasn't.
Right.
Like they did things in front of me to make it look a way that it wasn't at the end of the day. And if they would have separated when I was a kid, I don't think my life would have been that much different. Like I would still would have had my
Oh,
dad,
okay.
I still would have had my mom, and I wouldn't have had to look back and question everything later in life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm.
So for me, I'm glad you mentioned that you went through it because you can actually respond really well to what I'm about to say. So like I've seen that this is kind of one of those things where there just isn't a imperative answer. You know, a lot of topics, whether it's this one or another or other topics, right? Like it's a definitive answer, it's right or wrong. But this is one where like if you pick a person like the wrong person to have kids with, which of course I'm not saying that's the kid's life, right? That's you in terms of your opinion. If you choose that person's not, you're not happy with them, right? You end up saying, dang, that was a bad decision, right? It seems to be that there's no good answer. It seems to be that decision just haunts you forever. Personally, right? Again, I'm not putting this on any kid that, right? The kid's life can go well and they deserve a happy life still, obviously.
Right.
But yeah, it's just one of those things where I've never seen it like there's no variables that make it go like better than any other. It seems to be the only way that makes it goes well is the two people that make it work. And I'm talking about in terms of if they do separate or stay together. And I see what you're talking about with making it look like, and then it bothers you when you're older. But like in terms of how that goes, that's one of the better case scenarios, you know what I'm saying? Because it's just a messy
Could
situation
be.
in general. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it could be. But here's the thing. I just think if you married and you and your spouse are just bumping heads constantly arguing and fighting, what are you teaching your kids when you do that? You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like if if your husband is abusive or your wife is always nagging and cussing at you, maybe she throwing pots and pans at you, and you staying, what are you teaching your son? That it's okay to be in a relationship like that and just take it.
that's a good
So
point.
that's my whole thing in that.
But yeah,
Yeah. Go
it's
ahead, Dave.
I've observed and I've seen that there's no right answer for that other than just not do it. Basically, even the smartest person has a difficult time. You know what I'm saying? You can be Einstein. If you have kids with the wrong person, that situation is just hard to deal with. There's no right or wrong answer, no easy way to, make it work, you know?
Right. That's a fact. Yeah, you can't make it work. Yeah. So, so Jason, do you want to speak on real life? I can speak on real life experience. Yeah, I can definitely say you don't want to stay solely for that reason. Because kids involved.
Yeah,
Because again, like I said, you don't want those kids seeing a bad relationship or a bad marriage when you can say split and then maybe join with someone else if you find love elsewhere, and you can show them what marriage looks like in the right way or what true love looks like. You got that opportunity to do that. Take advantage of it. Growing up, I had so my mom and dad, they were never together. So I had a stepmom, for my dad, and I had a stepdad for my mom. You know what I'm saying? And I had the opportunity to see two, fairly good marriages. You know what I'm saying? But that was better for me. Not saying that my mom and dad wouldn't have got along. I don't know. But it was healthy to see those two. So when I became an adult, I had a genuine desire to get married. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I want. I'm married now currently, but I've also been through divorce. But I didn't give up. You know, I said, oh man, because again, from seeing what a beautiful marriage looks like, I still had that genuine desire in me saying, well, it might didn't work with this person, but true love does exist. A beautiful marriage does exist. So, you know, I kept going. I never stopped, you know, and now I'm happily married and all is well, you know, but that came from seeing those good examples of a marriage versus seeing bad examples of marriage, which usually deters a lot of young men and women from wanting to even go down that path. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
you know.
And
Yeah.
yeah, that seems to be like, even with your story, it seems to be that it's just reasonable people that, whether they, you know, of course you can be reasonable and just love each other and stay together. But if you happen to not, you know, want to stay together, it seems to just be, you're just lucky if you have those two reasonable people, you
Right.
know. And you know, so that's the thing. Like, there's not, for if you have one person reasonable and the other person not going to go well. Obviously both
Right.
people, and that's just a rarity that the two, you know, really, you know, intelligent and responsible people actually get together. That's what I see.
Right, right. That's solid. That's solid. So let me ask you this while we're talking about, you know, marriage and people and things like that. Um, how do you guys feel about, you know, if you got two individuals married and there's issues going on within the marriage, and let's just say they don't necessarily separate or divorce, but they take the rings off. Is that a big deal? Taking the ring off, uh, doing life without the ring for a while. Is that a big deal? No big deal. What you think on that? You can go
Go
first.
ahead.
You can go ahead, Jace.
Well, if you say it like that, like you just said, maybe they're not getting along, so they just take the rings off. Yeah, that's kind of a big deal. But if, as the man, like I've had plenty of jobs where they require me to take my ring off, like I couldn't wear it and work that job. Um, so I think it's really, if your significant other is taking the ring off when they're at work or something like that, I don't think it's a big deal. But if y'all are bumping heads and they just take the ring off,
Yeah.
that obviously might be an issue. But I don't
Right.
know.
So,
Like, at
so
the
you,
same time, it's your wedding ring, so you should want to wear it. You
right.
should want to have it on all the time. But
Yeah. So, yeah. So this is like if one or the other takes the ring off. Let's just say one keeps it on, one takes theirs off.
Yeah. So obviously, yeah, the job thing he mentioned, to me, that obviously would be
Okay.
irrelevant. Of course, you got to make money, right? But
Right.
I would think if you're at a point where, like, you're taking the ring off because you're mad at him, like that, or him, her, whatever, right? Then just like, that's divorce. Like, you're not together. You're basically breaking up. Like, if, you know what I'm saying? Like, what you're imagining living life without them, so you're pretty much breaking
Right.
up. And you might as well just break up then. Like,
Right. Yeah.
if you're at the
Hmm.
point of taking the ring off because you're angry, then you're just not, you don't want to be with that person anymore. That's why you're taking the ring off. It's not like in a couple hours you will like, oh, I want to be with them now. What's going to change? I mean, that's who they are. Whatever they did to make you mad, presumably, if they're not going to change it, then they're probably going to keep doing it. So if you took the
Right.
ring off, the next time they do it, you're not going to be accepting of it either. That's
Right.
just my
Right. Right.
thinking. Just keep it simple.
Yeah. And that's 100. And what made me think of this was I believe it's Mendeezies and Yandy. I think they own reality TV show. Um, they were going through something, and I think he did some time in jail or prison, and I think he's out now. And I think they've been having different issues, and her issue with him is that he doesn't always wear his ring, and the significance of that is she didn't because of legal reasons. I think she had like some business going, some different things going, and she wasn't comfortable conjoining with him legally because of all her business ventures. So what represents their marriage is the ring because they're not officially legally married. You see what I'm saying? So to her, the ring is everything. You know what I'm saying? So him not wearing that ring, I guess that pretty much breaks her heart.
So is
And
she wearing it?
I believe yes, she's wearing hers, yes, but he's not wearing his. And there's been rumors going around that you know she's got some masculine energy, or there's some type of energy there that he is not, he ain't happy with everything. Let's just say that.
Bro, if he's
And
not wearing that ring, we already know he's about to slip out. Like he probably
Right.
he gonna be putting it on less and less, like
Right.
until he's like, "Where's that ring at?" He's like, "Well, you ain't wearing your ring." He's like, "Who are you again? We met
Yeah.
somewhere." Like,
Yeah.
if
And
you
the
ain't
thing
look,
is,
if your name ain't on your document. I mean, that's how it has to be. At the end of the day, if the government wasn't involved in marriage, people would be a lot more cool with marriage and shit. But
right.
since they are, at
Yeah.
the end of the day, guys are gonna take advantage of that, not get
Yeah.
married. You want to wear a
Mhm.
ring for semblance? Go ahead. We can wear 8 rings. If we can wear all the infinity stones,
Right.
as soon as I want out, there's no documents. We're getting out of there. That's
Gone.
what he's doing. Can't even get
Yeah.
mad at him. Women do the same stuff all the time.
That's true. That's true. So I mean, yeah, what I say is, because I know even outside of that, I know there are a lot of people out here. You see them out in the world, and they're married, and I see a lot of married people not wearing their rings. But I mean, they'll tell you, like, when you start having a conversation, they'll say my wife or my husband. They're like, oh, I didn't know you was married. But some people have made it like the norm to not wear their rings, and it's not always work related. You know what I'm saying? So what I say is, if you go into that marriage and you guys are wearing your wedding bands or rings, I think you want to consistently keep up with it, because honestly, what I think happens in most cases is something happens, the rings come off, and then one of the other person, more likely the man, because I don't see too many women not wearing their rings unless it's real bad. But more than likely that man comes up with an excuse or a reason as to why, he feels like wearing a ring is crazy, silly, or maybe he might bring up work or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But I think that if you are in that marriage and you guys went into that marriage wearing those rings, even knowing, like, let's just say he had a particular job or career and he was wearing that ring, you was wearing your ring early on when it was no issue, when everything was sweet. So I think you should keep that ring on because, again, usually when they don't, there's an underlying issue. And to keep from, because a lot of it, people get emotional, right? So to keep from looking crazy, they just keep the ring off altogether. That way, because people start to look at you. People around you start to notice they got their ring on today, or they don't got their ring on. So what some men try to do is just keep it off. And what I say is, no, if you went into that thing wearing rings, you need to continue to wear that ring and learn how to go through the ups and downs of a marriage, unless you want to wash your hands with it and, get the separation, get the divorce. Then you can talk about not doing it. But as long as you're in there, you need to roll with the punches, unless, again, you're on your way out. But I know a lot of guys try to get away with not wearing that ring. And I say, well, nah, if you married, wear that ring, wear that thing with pride.
Yeah, I mean, I would say if you're considering taking the ring off, then if you're considering your life without them, then you probably just want to live without them.
Right.
Yeah, I never read into that issue personally when I was married. I always wore mine. But
Right.
I did work with a lot of people, even females that were married and just didn't wear their
Oh,
wedding
yeah.
ring.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. It seemed like they had a good relationship, like as far as I know. So I don't know. It just depends on the person, I guess. But yeah, I think you should wear it. If you, like you said, if you started off wearing it, you should keep wearing it personally.
Right. What's up, James? Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Like I said, I think cats should wear it, especially if they in it, unless, again, they on their way out. But I don't believe in this hat, because to me it's 1 foot in, 1 foot out. A lot of times when they do that,
Right.
and again, I believe strongly in marriage. I believe in happy marriage, a happy, healthy marriage. So again, in order to push that, more men and women need to go ahead and step up. I want to get into something a little juicy though.
Actually,
I believe. Go ahead.
want to say I'm gonna go ahead and hop out on this one. Try and see if I
Okay.
can catch the end of this game.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, you go right ahead, big dog.
All right, man.
Hit me
All
up.
right, big
With
dog. Be
another one
easy
though,
now.
for
Okay.
sure.
It's nice to meet you, bro.
So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and segue. I believe this is one of yours, big dog. The question is, can someone come back from cheating, right? Can someone come back from cheating? And is it different between men and women? I mean, we'll break that whole thing down. Can someone come back from cheating?
Yeah. I think it is different from men and women. Uh, if you're married and your partner has sex with another person, I think in most cases you can't come back from that. But there are exceptions. I do believe, sometimes it can be resolved. You there, Maury?
Yeah, I'm right here, big dog. Right here.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes it can be worked out. Um, I think if a woman sleeps with another man or your wife sleeps with another man, I hate to say it, but like I feel like almost 100% of the time it is over for you at that point. Men, I think this is going to be an unpopular opinion, but I think it's a little bit different when men cheat. I
Okay.
think it's easier to come back from that for a marriage to come back from that versus if the woman lays down with another man. If a woman,
Okay.
if your wife lays down with another man and you're married, I think it's a wrap, bro.
Right. Right.
In
Right.
99% of the cases.
Okay.
And the
So
reason I say that is because men cheat for different reasons. So like the reason your husband is cheating could possibly be fixed if he is willing to fix it, and
right.
if y'all are willing to work it out. But if a wife cheats, she's cheating because she's emotionally attached to somebody else.
Right. Exactly.
That cannot so much be fixed.
Emotional damage.
That a lot of times can't be fixed,
Right.
in my opinion. So I don't know how you feel about it, but
Yeah, that's spot on, man. That's what it is, man. They say the difference between a man and a woman cheating, a woman cheating is like premeditated murder.
oh yeah,
A man cheating is like manslaughter. It's like, oh my bad, I ain't wasn't trying to, I wasn't, it just kind of happened. A lot of times it takes a lot for a woman to go down that path.
yeah,
She said that she's been damaged. She thinks it through. She has to plan it out. She has to, what I'm saying? It takes a lot more. Another reason why a lot of times that's harder for a man to take is, um, what was I lost my words. But men, let me see what I was saying. Men, well, I'm saying men are visual creatures, with doesn't have much to do with it. But it's easier, for a man to do that because, again, a lot of times a man can do that and his feelings are not attached to it. A woman, like I say, her feelings are attached, just like you said. She's locked in whenever she makes that move. So it's going to be a lot harder than men expect that woman to be loyal and another. Oh, this is what I was going to say. A woman's body is meant to be sacred, right? Not saying that men not, but that's the reason why, you know, no matter what religion you go through, those women are expected to be virgins. You know what I'm saying? And it touches on the topic that I tapped on the other day, a different day, saying that, if a woman is, pregnant, that man needs to know that that is his kid, right? That's another reason as to why, you know, we take it differently, because we know it's the woman's baby coming out of, but we don't know which man's baby it is. So that's another reason why we take it seriously when a woman cheats versus a man. Um, and,
right,
and I think it's something, and this could be something that has been done socially over the years, as far as men being known to say deal with multiple partners versus that woman. That was always an unpopular thing.
right,
And then men's pride and everything else kick in as well. We like, nah, nobody else touching what's mine. Because then some people made the case of, her being entered into versus his is on the outer. So it's a lot of cases people make, you
Yeah.
know, as to why there's a difference. Right.
Yeah, it's not to say that women cheating or it's worse for a woman to cheat than it is a man. Like either way, cheating on your spouse
Right.
is
You
wrong. It's
don't,
not
yeah.
bad.
Right.
It's not good. But I think a lot of times men cheat because they need more attention. They lack attention at
Right.
home.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they find somebody younger that's giving them more attention, and
Right.
all that can be fixed at the end of the day. But like you said, it's like murder. If your wife lays down with another man, it's over, bro.
Right.
So
Right. That's a done deal. So we
yeah,
don't condone that. Like we both said, we don't condone any cheating. What I say is, if you're a man or a woman out there and you feel the need to mess with other men and women, go ahead and break that off and go be with that. Go be with that other person. Do whatever you got to do. But I don't condone and cheating. I say be real up front. Don't need to mess with this or that. I know people say men have a large appetite. I don't care about none of that. You got to fight against your sin nature. Men have a sin nature, right? You got to block that out and do what's best because you don't want any STDs. You don't want any unwanted children, right? So again, it's best just get out of that situation, get out of that relationship you're currently in, or whatever you got going on. You need to let it go before you start dealing with somebody else, right? Be a man, be a woman, whatever. Had a conversation with your spouse of something going on that you don't agree with, right? And it's affecting you in all kind of ways, and you just can't see yourself with this person no more. Go ahead and break it off. I don't
right.
condone any of the cheating. Just let it go all together. Let it go all together. Anything else on that, Ice, before we segue into the main topic?
No, that's pretty much it on that one.
All right, we're going to segue into the last topic, the main event, polygamy. Polygamy. Men
Uh,
having multiple wives. What are your thoughts on polygamy? Is this something that should be legalized in America?
Man, I don't really know a lot about it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I I've watched videos and interviews of like men. They did of men that have multiple wives,
Yeah.
and in every interview that I've watched, it always seems like the men are manipulating the women in the relationship,
Okay.
or the women in that relationship are being blinded by money and some kind of twisted religion or cult, underlying cult.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe I'm wrong about that. I haven't really looked a lot into it. I don't really know. Um, but I just noticed that when I watched interviews of them interviewing or talking to people that have multiple wives, that seemed to be like a theme that I picked up on. It didn't matter who they talked to. But I mean, to each his own. I don't know.
Oh, okay. So are
I
you
don't
saying
I
you in
don't
the
see
middle?
I don't see I don't see how anybody could do it. Like I couldn't even handle one wife.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I can't even
Uh,
handle one. So I
yeah.
just don't get it. I don't understand it. But
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yes.
have been in an open relationship. I have been in a relationship where the female I was with was interested in swinging as a
Yeah.
couple,
Okay.
and I've been in open relationships. So I understand that more. But
So
being married,
to what extent as far as the open?
open relationship,
Yeah.
um, like me and her really cared about each other. We loved each other. We spent a lot of time with each other. We went out on dates.
Mm-hmm.
But the key was neither one of us was gonna ever get married, and
Uh-huh.
we was probably never gonna move in together.
Right.
But
So
we
was it
do. But
open on your end, her end, or both ends?
yeah, it was both ends. It was both.
Ah, okay.
Like she knew the name and the females I slept with, like she knew everything. I knew who she
Oh,
was
okay.
dealing with. I knew who she dealt with on the side. Like, but
So you let her mess with other men?
yeah, I know it's
That's
crazy.
yeah, that's tough, man.
It's crazy, but I
That's
cared a
tough.
lot. I cared a lot about her. She cared a lot about me. She called me every day.
Yeah,
You know, she called me every day. We went out together at night and on the town or
yeah.
whatever.
Okay.
But we just never had no intentions of getting married. I think if we was trying to get married or actually move in together, maybe it'll be a little bit different. But
Okay.
we just had a different thing going on. So
Oh wow, that's tough. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I can't. I definitely can't let it be open on her end. Mm-mm, no sir, no sir. But I feel you. Maybe that was a point in your life where you know what I'm saying. It was just like, hey, it's whatever. Was you in Georgia?
yeah, I was in
Okay,
Georgia. Yeah,
okay, I got you.
yeah, they different down here.
Yeah, I heard. I heard all about it. I heard all about it. You know what I'm saying? Trust me. Yeah. So what I say on it is, well, usually in other countries, what that is basically, the guys who can afford to take care of multiple wives. That's who does it. You got to be able to afford it. A lot of guys here push for it, but the truth is they can't afford to take care of multiple women. They can't afford it.
Nah,
Um, and they probably realistically couldn't handle juggling multiple women and everybody in the house getting everything they need. So let's just keep it real. So I'm not for polygamy. I say men should be monogamous. Find that one wife. Find their match. Again, find your woman who you have genuine desire for, and also she has genuine desire for you. Let that be reciprocated. You guys build a good, happy life together because there are women out here who will do it all and can do it all. You know what I'm saying? And that may also be based on you as a man and the type of life that you set up for you all. And that doesn't mean that, she's not working. I mean, she could be working and all that good stuff too. But again, as the leader, you put your vision out there and you provide structure and a program, so to speak. And again, you can have one wife who will do it all. I'm a living example of that. My wife, she's great, but I ain't gonna sit on here and just brag all about her. But anyway, you can find that. You can definitely find that, and I push for men to, be monogamous. Now, the thing is, here in the United States, a lot of men they juggle multiple women. Let's just keep it 100. And thing about that is, you got to be extra careful when you're doing it. That's very dangerous. You don't know what other guys out there who may get jealous. Guys tend to get violent. Also, you got to watch out for different STDs, HIV/AIDS. You also have to, again, try to prevent yourself from having any unwanted children. So those situations get very, very ugly when guys out here try to make that polygamy argument. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this isn't a man's nature, but what men have to realize is us as men, we have a sin nature. And that's why there's the Holy Bible. It protects us from many things that we would normally do if we didn't have any structure, any guidance. But as we all know, we have different examples in our lives of men and women who have done what they wanted to do, and it has led them down the path of destruction. Whether we're talking about sexually, whether we're talking about drugs, whether we're talking about crimes they've committed, things they've done illegally, right? These things are things that I'm sure in a moment they wanted to do it, right? It sounded excited, sounded good, sounded like it could have been a come up, whatever the case may be. But those very things led them down the path of destruction. Even a lot of the men and women who we currently see on these street corners, begging for money and begging for this and begging for that, many of them at some point in their life, they went after something that their heart desired, right? Or something that they wanted to do. And it led them down the path of destruction because they didn't have any discipline or control. in doing whatever it was they engaged in. So all the fellas out there wanting multiple women all at once, I'm telling you right now, if you keep going down that path, you will be led down the path of destruction. Only a small percentage of men in the world can afford to have multiple wives, right? To where they can take care of them. That's my 2 cents on the whole polygamy piece.
Yeah. Is it illegal in most states? I don't even know. I know
No,
in some states it's
it should
illegal,
be.
right?
Yeah, it's illegal here in the United States.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's illegal in the states. You hear some men talking about it, but
I
it
mean,
might.
so if you so do you think it's okay if they can afford it, or are you just against it altogether?
Well, I'm not against it altogether. If they can afford it and they can execute it. So
Right. Yeah, that's a different story.
money is only one part of the equation. And when
Right.
I say executed, I mean properly lead these women in that household. You know, if you can properly lead them and take care of the wives, and the kids. If you could do it properly, then I don't have an issue with that. Again, my issue is when it gets chaotic, and a lot of guys think just because they got the money, because you have a lot of men who have money, but they suck at leadership, right? So leading real people within a household. Now they may even lead a company to a degree, but that doesn't mean that they're good fathers or good husbands, things of that nature. Because a lot of them get real snobby and start to be an a-hole, and things can get ugly real fast when it comes down to that.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand how they do it, how they manage with that many wives. I just I don't know. It's out of my league.
Right. Yeah, so that's crazy, man. But hey, it is what it is. Let them do what they do. Uh, you got anything on this polygamy in closing?
Nah, I mean if that's it's like you said, if that's what you're doing, just do it and do it right. Be a good leader and provide, because I could see that going bad real quick if
Right.
you can't do it.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Yeah, but a lot of guys pushing for it, but we ain't going for it over here.
Yeah.
But appreciate you all for watching. That's going to conclude this episode of Beast Talk. Like this video, share this video. Remember, guys, share this with your family and friends. We don't want to be successful by ourselves. And remember, guys, keep God first. And if you got any topics you want us to speak on, put them in the inbox. If you ever want to join the show, you know, inbox me. I can drop a link. We can talk about it. We can get you on the panel. I can have at least or up to 10 people on the panel, right? I can have up to 10 people on the panel. So if you want to join the show, just let me know in the comment section, or you can inbox me. And remember this too. This is not an echo chamber. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to agree with ICE. You don't have to agree with any of us, right? You come in with your own perspective. We respect all perspectives. The only way we're going to move the needle in a positive direction is if we have these conversations. So feel free to join in, give us your perspective, and hey, let's come up with solutions. Once again, I appreciate you all for watching.
Peace.
I love you all.
All right.
Peace.